Do you know the 3 most common things that get you rejected? And these things are really prevalent across the majority of the student community. Number 1, and carefully, even while chasing an MBA, you don't care about an MBA. And they know it. Think about it. So you're applying to a business school and you're really not interested in the MBA program. Sounds like an irony, isn't it? No. See, why am I saying this? Do you know that when they ask you for why MBA, why goals, and what do you want to do in the short term, long term, there are times you find this question so hard that you really start, not even from scratch, like you're way away from scratch. It lets me keep my job as well. Well, the reality is if you start finding answers to these questions so easily, I'm going to be looking for an alternative career. But that is true as well. But let us think about it. Have you already not had so much of education in your life without knowing why am I doing it, or just because your parents said so, or just because your friends started influencing you in one way? And for most of you, hopefully MBA will be the last education, formal education. Don't you think? Don't you think it should be more like, it should be a very informed decision where you really know why do I want to do this? And I tell you what, if you become seriously interested in MBA, and this is for the MBA applicant community, if you become really serious in an MBA, the entire game becomes so easy, man. Your way of approaching answers will start to become common sense. Yes, think about it. When Stanford says what matters most to you and why, you will not have to pretend. Do you know how many shallow answers Stanford gets to read every year for what matters most to you and why? I'm sure they are tired. I am tired of looking at a lot of shallow answers. Don't you think they also get tired of applicants telling them that contribution matters most to me, even though I'm an engineer working for blah organization, or my entire life depends on making others happy? Seriously? No. So this is really pretending to the next level. Another thing that gets you rejected is, most of you have good profiles, but you are really not proud of what you've done. And trust me, I respect your resume more than you do. And a lot of times, see, I recently talked to an applicant studying in HEC, and he had 2 consecutive years of rejection. His name is Kumar, and I've also interviewed him. He's there on our YouTube channel. And he had 2 consecutive years of rejections from even the mediocre programs. And in the 3rd year, when he and I worked together, we cracked Duke in HEC. And I recently asked him, I'm proud of him, and I recently asked him that what was one thing that changed, Kumar? Forget everything. Just tell me one thing that was very important for you. And he said, Jatin, you told me that my accomplishments are worthy. And we just have to go deep into finding why are these important enough rather than finding ways to cook stories. Hey, don't cook stories. You'll end up becoming a pressure cooker. That is why you get into so much of trouble. I tell you what, when I work with these applicants, and before I even speak with them for the first time, I scan their resume, I go through their LinkedIn, and I form my own opinions. And then the person comes on the phone and says, hello. And I said, hi, I like your resume, blah, blah. And he says, no, I don't have an amazing profile. Let me give you 5 reasons that really make me a loser. And hey, I'm also talking about IIT two-digit rankers as well. And I'm not kidding. I worked with a lot of IITians, and a lot of them on first call just say, you think my profile is good enough? And I say, well, yeah. And they say, well, are you serious? And I said, I mean it. They're like, okay, well, let me tell you why am I a loser. And they go on and on and on. And I'm like, hey, I believe you now. I agree with you now. Think about it. I'm a stranger. You find me, and then you convince me that you are a loser, that are not proud of all the things that you've done. See, I'm not trying to give motivational crap here. But the reality is that you honestly believe, or you honestly do not believe in your accomplishments, and you only look at the fancy profiles across the internet, and not everyone has raised $1 million or has sold startups for millions of dollars. No. And for you, just because you have not done these accomplishments, you've not had these accomplishments, you try to cook random stories. And that is why, while convincing the schools or the admission committee members about how you are a rock star, you have to pretend so much. Imagine yourself in an interview room with this mindset and pretense, and you're sitting in an interview room with Wharton. 10 minutes into it, it will feel like you are in a cage fight. Do you get it? 3rd thing, combination, 0 motivation, full tension. Think about the deadliest combination, isn't it? if you are a person who is not interested in an MBA and you're so keen on an MBA and you want to get in, but you really do not care about it and what will you do and after that and blah, blah, blah. And you're also someone who is not proud of yourself. This person, this mindset, this person goes through the entire process like a robot. Everything that you do seems like so much of heavy lifting. You do so much of plastic surgery on your answers and you have to act, you have to pretend, and they catch you all the time. So my request for these people is, don't cook stories, don't pretend, trust yourself, be proud of your accomplishments. People like me, consultants like me, will help you go deeper, analyze things, really help you understand what is a relevant story, what is not a relevant story. But you have to be interested in picking up your profile, man. A lot of things, the smallest of things, the chota accomplishments that you have had in your life, they're really worthy. Thank you. In this video, we saw 3 things that you do not do, and getting into a great business school becomes so challenging for you. Start doing it. Trust me and trust the process. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video.